Right guys, here we are once again. We are ready for the next match. This is a one-loss side match. It's the next match in this year's VP4 Straight Pool World Championship. And we'll go to the bracket. Bracket's actually missing from the banners in the lobby. That needs to get fixed. So we have to go the long way round to get to it. It's taking a little while to load as well. Right, there's the link there, I think. Right. We've got two matches scheduled, one tonight, which I'm certainly going to make because I'm here, and there's one tomorrow. So we'll look at the match tonight, and it's between Larry and Bakermaker, race to 100, and it will start in about 5 minutes time. And on the winner's side, we have, in fact, just to have a quick look back across here on the one loss side, if we look at the bracket above, we can see that Franco is now set to play Romario. Franco lost out in the match of the tournament, as I build it, between him and Semi-Pro. Semi-Pro ran away early on. Franco, believe it or not, managed to chip his way back into it, and if you watch the video, you'll see three crucial misses with the break ball that Franco, if he got them, he probably would have won the match. So he had his chance late on and it all went wrong. So anyway, he's still got a second chance against Romario, and that won't be a walkover. We know Romario makes mistakes, we know he's in a hurry, but he can still run balls. So Franco's going to have to keep his wits about him there. On the winner's side, the next big match is tomorrow afternoon. It's scheduled. Now, the bad news for me as far as that goes is that I could very possibly still be at work when that match starts. And at the very latest, I could be there to 2 o'clock, so I probably would miss most of the match. I would hopefully, if my shift finishes a bit earlier, get home in time. And the match tomorrow is between Semi-Pro and Acero. Acero from Japan, and Acero again should give Semi-Pro a good match. It should be a good match, and I just hope I can get home in time to catch some of it. So the tournament now is getting to the stage where, well, nothing else can happen up front after that match tomorrow. Everything has to happen on the one-loss side, and so Larry and Bakermaker are fighting out for a spot in the one-loss side semi, if you want to call it that, and Romario and Franco likewise. So there's a few matches still to get played. Both players, Larry and Bakermaker, they're both in the lobby. Well, certainly Bakermaker was there a minute ago. He's now in a room, so he's probably knocking a few balls in, getting some practice. Larry, I don't think he's actually been practicing. I think he's been playing 9-ball. I think he was early this morning or yesterday, was it? I can't remember. But well, he'll have to do his warming up in the match. So we're all set to go. Once again, the chat is working. I've checked it. We have a stream going out live on YouTube, and we've also got one going on Twitch. And both chats are mixed on screen, so you can both see who's saying what. And the only thing I need to check is my little doodle, which takes a while when it's in the lobby. It's weird. And there it goes. There's a big delay before it actually goes up on screen when you're in the lobby, but when you're in the room it works fine. And it's working fine at the moment anyway, so I'm happy, everything's working okay. And how long we got? Still a couple of minutes, so we might as well sit and twiddle our thumbs until then. I'll have a quick drink. If I can, I forgot my bloody bottle, just a sec. I've left my bottle over at the wall. Well, I think I've seen Bakermaker playing in that first match. Can't remember who he was playing, but he's a reasonably solid player, and you know, mistakes are going to be made by both players. I think this match potentially could go either way. Difficult to judge it. From experience and stuff like that, you would go for Larry, but it's a race to 100, and a race to 100 is not very long, especially if your opponent gets in and gets, you know, like a 20 or a 30 run fairly early on. You're then pissing in the wind, as they say. You're chasing the game. I hope my voice is going to hold out. So you can take bets as to who's going to win this. Well, if there's anybody out there, I don't think there is, because I haven't seen anything in the chat so far. Good evening and welcome. If you're a late comer or if you've stumbled across the stream, we're on Virtual Pool 4 online, and at the moment we've got tournaments running all the time, but the main tournament that's been running for, it seems forever, started last year, believe it or not, and that's the Virtual Pool 4 Straight Pool World Championships. It's a double elimination tournament. Race to 150 on the winner's side, race to 100 on the one loss side, and we're waiting on the match starting, and it should be going any second now. The clock has just hit the top of the hour, and the room should be going up. And the room has gone up, so I'm going to dive straight in. And Bakermaker and Larry will both get their alert. That, in fact, that was quick. They didn't hang about. They're both in the room. Let's have a look. I think Larry might be on the right. I'm just guessing because I haven't a clue with those cue sticks. I think that might be Larry on the right. Then again, it might be him on the left. I don't know who. I don't know who's who here. Well, Larry was on the right, and Bakermaker won the lag by a country mile. So immediately he's put Larry into break. And so this is the important shot. So let's see if Larry can keep it safe. The idea being that you hit the corner of that pack, the opposite ball on the other side hits the rail. Well, Larry's played it gentle. Sometimes you try and get that ball to come back across to the pack and get some cover, but he's left one on. And I think he's got the 6 as well, but the 5's there, although the cue ball would be running away a bit. How far's he going there? Let's have a wee look. And you can run through for the 5 or the 2. Well, that's killed that idea, so the 1's going to be the backup. He's going to have to run up the table. If he's going to play an accurate shot for this 2, he's got to get it right. And he needs a good position in the 2 to give him that angle just to disturb something, and he's got an angle, and well, there is a ball on, so the next couple of shots already are quite important, because if we can get those other balls free, this could be a promising start for Bakermaker. Winning the lag, putting Larry in. Very difficult to keep the ball safe on a break shot in VP4 straight pool. Now that could have done with just going that wee bit further up the table. Just up to about there would have given him an angle on the 3 to break something there. I think he's the wrong side of it. In fact, he's pretty much dead straight, so there's not a lot he can do here other than go forward or back. So he's looking to see if anything's set. And let's have a look. Well, that 13 ball looks as if it's going to the jaw. And we'll see if he's going to go for it, because that's the side you want to be able to have a go at that shot. Yeah, when you look at the way it's running to the jaw. So that's why he's declined to take the shot. But it's a start and it's 10 points on the board. A very thin feather on this 13 ball, unless he's playing the combo. He hasn't called anything, so you know, Larry's keen to score when he's at the table. Now, is that ball at the back of the pack going? Well, there's a gap. That 10 ball might just go. Oh, it's very tight. Yeah. Again, very risky to take that shot on. And it's giving bakermaker another chance to score. And the only other thing we're now looking at is where the break ball is. Now, that 11 ball is a good break ball. It's tight to the pack, and so is the 13. 13 is actually a better break ball because you're hitting the corner of the pack. If you look at the triangle that's marked the table, that's the better break ball, but he's taking it, so it's definitely going to be the 11. Well, that's a poor one. I'll tell you something though, that shot that Larry went for there was risky. Had to be extremely accurate. And now Larry doesn't have a shot on that 12 strike ball on the right hand side, so he's going to struggle to get a break shot here. But that could have been a lot more damaging for Larry. So he's got off lightly there. Well, there's a slight angle. Let's see if we can get enough power in this, because the cue ball's got obviously to go forward and then come back, so there's a lot of momentum needed to get good action in this cue ball to disturb anything. Now, I think he's on the 5. Well, this is a crunch ball. Needs to get something going here, and again it's going into the back of the pack. He could just end up in nothing. It's always a dangerous shot. Well, he didn't get a lot out of that, did he? So he's got an awkward 7, and if he's going to go for the 7, he's going to have to just play it as a sort of safety shot. Yeah, I don't think he wants to be breaking the pack there, so did the right thing. And that's a clever shot as well, because the 7 been over that corner. There's nowhere over this side of the table that we're looking from that's safe. And Larry's got the same problem. He's got to get his pace right to get back behind that pack. And that also makes that a big pocket. If you look at the 3 ball cut down the table could go in off that 7. And that's a shot you might see now, because Larry's gone too heavy, and bakermaker can make that pocket big. And let's see if he manages to do that. It's a careless one by Larry, and there you go, and off the 7. So Larry's initial safety was a good idea, but the plan falls flat on its head if you can't keep the balls covered. And having said that, bakermaker's hit a weak one there. And Larry will be going all out with this one. Doesn't have to make the angle's there on the 2. And the balls have gone everywhere. And look at where the cue balls ended up, bottom of the table, but he's got the 1. So this is the first real scoring opportunity for Larry. And we'll see how many of these balls he moves around, because he doesn't need to move anything. Just has to keep that cue ball under control. So that's 6 ball up in the corner there. That has to go, excuse me, that one there, because that's a blocking ball. So he needs to get rid of that. And the other one, get rid of the 14. The 4's also a blocker, as is the 11. So there's a few, depending on what pocket and what side you're going to decide to play these, you've got to have that in mind as well, and what balls to get rid of. I think he can either take the 15 or he can see that 6, and that gets rid of that one from the corner on the right hand side there at the top end. That's what he didn't want, but he's okay. Now he's looking to see this 4, it goes in. So there's still a little bit of manoeuvring to be done here to pick these balls out. So if he takes the 15, he's running down towards us, and he's got the 7 as a backup. I don't know whether he can hold for that 12. He's managed to hold it for the 8, but he might take the, is that the 10 ball? The 10 ball there, he could take that. He's got the opportunity to take that now, and he would still be on the 8 or the 7, but he's leaving it for the moment. And if you have a look at, again, we're looking where the break ball is. There's the 4 as the break ball. Now it could be the 13, it could be a little run through for a long 10, and then out for that 9. That might be the plan. We'll see what he does. Just keep your eye on the Q-tip. If he's going forward off the end rail and onto the side rail on the left hand side. Well, that, if he played for the 10 ball, he's gone too straight. So now he's just going to have to draw back to the middle pocket. I don't think he's so keen on it though. Well, to me that'd be the shot worth playing. Just draw back a couple of inches to the left middle pocket, and he's on the 9. Well, he's got a slight angle, he can go forward. You see he's got nothing in the cue ball, so he's now in no man's land. And that was a bad one. And now he's left himself a difficult shot either way. And the other problem, of course, is getting a good position on the break ball. Should have took that 10 ball earlier, Larry. That's what I say. Then you didn't have to think about it. It's out the way. You're working at the business end of the table. And now he's got himself out of line. And, well, it's a thin cut, but bakermaker can make the cut, and the cue ball will be running up and down the table, and he's just looking to get into the middle of the table to have a shot in that 4. Well, he's taking the more difficult shot into the corner. That's a good shot. Could have taken a thin cut, but the cue ball would have been running all over the place and a lot more difficult to judge. And that's worked out very nice. And Larry, well, it's all to do with how you see those balls, how you see your path and getting down to that last ball. And that opportunity was there earlier in that run for Larry to get rid of that 10 ball, because you're always thinking about it. It's in the back of your mind when you're working at the top end of the table that that ball's still down the bottom end of the table, or the bottom half. And as soon as you have the chance, you're far better off taking care of those problems, and then you can focus on what you should be doing. And it's cost Larry again. Now, what we got? We got a little combo there. Let's have a look and see how good it is. Well, that looks pretty dead set. Now you can get rid of the 7. I don't know whether he can stun it in. No, he's just playing it dead weight. I mean, what's he playing for here? That 14 is right on the corner point of the triangle. The 2 is in the triangle, so that doesn't count. So there isn't a great break ball. The 8 ball could do as a break ball, and the 9 as well, if you can get good down this side of the table. So a little draw back, and the cue ball's going to draw out slightly, so he's now sitting in a good position to break these balls open. And that's worked out very nice as well. So Larry's going to have a deficit, and it could be a fairly substantial deficit, which puts the pressure on him scoring when he gets a visit. And Bakermaker sitting there with a 2,800 rating. That would suggest that, you know, he's well aware of what he's doing. And there's a mistake. Well, that's a relief for Larry, because it's ended up in just a run of 19, but it's a deficit of 20. Good evening, Mark. I'm glad somebody's there. Good evening, welcome. So now Larry's decided he's going to deal with the problem ball straight away. He's getting rid of the 5. And of course the other issue now is the immediate problem is that 10 ball, or that 12 ball, whatever the hell ball it is, because those 2 balls there, they pot into that pocket now, and he'll have an angle to break those 2 there. Let's have a closer look. So he doesn't have to disturb anything here other than pot the 3 and pot the 2 to just loosen those 2 balls. Now he's going to probably, I don't know whether he's going to draw into them now because he's ended up fairly straight. There's a slight angle on the 6. He could just go that way and across here, and he's got a choice of 2 or 3 balls. Now that's gone wrong. He didn't want to be up as far as that, but he's still got a backup ball. And this is, well, he's going for it now. I'd be much happier getting rid of that 1 ball. Although he might want to try and keep that as a break ball, but I'd be happier doing that because it's a lot easier to get a decent position for those. He's now taking the tougher shot. Well, they got that when I think when the straight pull and cowboy ratings were broken, or they weren't working right. And most of them, I think, got them in tournaments and challenge rooms, I think. And now when you're at that level, and I mean, if I was to play bakermaker and I beat him, I wouldn't get any points off him. If he beats me, I don't get any he doesn't get any points off me. So what's the point in keeping those ratings so high? They might as well actually fix the ratings. And drop all of those players' ratings. As much as they might want to be quite happy and proud to be sitting with such a high rating, it's doing nothing for them. I mean, it means that if they play in a tournament and it's a handicap tournament, they're going to be up against a stack of balls in any tournament they play in. And so it gives them no benefit whatsoever, and there's no incentive for me to play any of those guys who are at 2,800 because I'm going to get nothing and they're going to get nothing. Pointless. But anyway, Larry has got his break ball. He's got the balls open and he's dead straight in this 12. And he's got to be careful here because as soon as you put a bit of power on this, you send that ball slightly offline, you're going to hang it in the pocket. Now, even if he pots this ball, where's his next ball coming from? He's not got a lot of choices here. There's not a lot of choices. He's got to be very careful if he's going to get on a shot here. Cue ball's coming off the rail and coming out here. He's going to have nothing there unless he plays a combo in a 5 and 4, and that's not pretty. Now, can he get to that 9? He's going for the 6. So this is a bit tricky, this lay of balls here. There's a sort of bit of fixing needing done here. And even when he pots this 6, there's nothing set. You see what I mean? He's now going to scratch, and that's a disaster. It was all. I just sensed that there was a problem with the lay of those balls. He had to be really careful. And Larry's visit ends abruptly on 11, and he still had a deficit of 9. And so Larry's now chasing his tail very early on in this match. And this is where the pressure comes off bakermaker, because all he has to do is just make sure he makes nice little contributions, keeps it tight, and doesn't leave anything on for Larry. Where bakermaker's going to fall foul is going to be like most of these players who have got big ratings. They're all out to score, and if he takes one risk too many, he's going to let Larry in too soon. So we'll see how his thinking is. And straight away now, you got a little fiddly one down the rail. Let's have a look at this end here. Well, he can find a gap and go on the 14 if he wants, but he's got to get good stunned the cue ball out for the 5. So that's the break ball gone from that side of the table. And if we look at this side, we've got the 14, which is now nudged out the way. And now he's got more work to do. Look at this set up here. What we got here? We got a combo here. No, we don't. So little nudge, and he's made the mistake. But it's a contribution of 10, and Larry's 19 behind. He's got a break ball, and he's got an awkward shot to start with. This 8 ball, Chinese snookered over the 14 ball, is not a comfortable shot to be playing, and that's why it's so easy to miss. But the break ball's now there for bakermaker, and this could be a wee bit of punishment here if he can get good. Got the angle on the 8, so he can come off the rail. That angle's good, just to get out to about there, maybe even there if he wants. Well, he's gone a wee bit further. Let's have a look. Well, he's still got see, he's getting less and less of an angle, so it means you have to put more and more into the cue ball to get any action to disturb enough balls. Well, anything he does here will be risky. And he's played a good shot. That was a well controlled shot in the 1. And well, Larry's now got his work cut out. The gap is growing. But bakermaker might have made a mistake. And looking around, he's got a tight 9, but played it well. It was the only ball he had a shot on, and now he's pretty much back in shape here. So he's rescued the position. A little nudge there, but it hasn't opened up the 11. But as I said, bakermaker just needs to be scoring when he's getting a visit. But there's a mistake. And it's another contribution of 9 so far. Well, that's a good safety. He's Lambert, poor Larry, stuck in the corner. I think he's got a shot, but again, it's a tough one. It's dead straight and very easy just to tweak it. So the deficit is now 27, and the alarm bells are ringing. bakermaker's halfway home, and Larry's in danger of, well, at the moment he's hanging on to his shirt tails. He doesn't want to be just running and grasping at thin air in the next 2 or 3 visits. He needs to be getting a score on the board. And again, I think he's just got a shot. I don't know whether he's too comfortable with that. I think he's dead straight. Right down his cue. So now he can open the 11. Now where's the break ball? Good evening. Well, Larry's in trouble early on here to any latecomers. He's not scored heavily enough at the visits he's had. And He's definitely looking for a reasonable contribution here to get this margin down. But where's the break ball? It's not looking pretty, this table, with what's left on it. Let's see what we can work out here. Well, that 15 ball is actually okay. I thought it was actually in the triangle. You can see it's outside the line, so that is a workable break ball. It's tight, so you've got to get good for it. Now, he's got two ways he can work this. He can come off the rail and come back this way, or he can go forward and around and out. So he has two choices what he's comfortable with. And he's left that a mile short. And that's way, I mean, that's probably 2 feet and more short of where he wanted to try and get that cue ball. So again, the visit has just accumulated 7 points. And now what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to study this pack, as each player who's playing should be doing. After every safety shot, you get yourself down the business end of the table and study the pack and see if you can pick anything out. All these little nudges can easily put a combo on or loosen a ball from the pack. And now the safety here, you know, any of those can easily nudge a ball out. You've got to get them very thin. And that's fine. It's a point away, but no damage done. So we're going to have a bit of backward and forward here. Somebody's going to make the mistake. And so we've now got a ball loose at the back of the pack. So the safety zone at the back of the pack has gone. Well, Bakermaker's quite happy to play it. Let's have a look. Nice. Well, Larry's looking here, but that's not going to cut. And he's left that okay. Now let's have a look at that side. There's nothing really on. Oh, good evening, Potman. Welcome. So Larry, 20 points in arrears. And these thin safeties in straight pull, it's so easy just to catch a ball slightly thicker than intended and you've nudged something out. They're very fine art to getting them thin, keeping the balls tight. Let's have a look now. Nothing there I can see. Well, I'm always a great one for trying to get to the bottom rail, or to the bottom rail as we look. The tighter you can get that cue ball to this bottom rail, the more difficult it is to play the thin safety, because you're playing it from distance. And the other thing, of course, is your vision up to that pack of balls. It makes it much more difficult to play the thin safety when you have that cue ball at a distance. That's just why I always look to get to the long grass if I can. See, that ball's looking good, but you want to have it right down here. But it still means that there's a bit of real estate between the pack and the cue ball. Larry's fell more than a foot short there. He's still at the second diamond. And of course, the other issue when you try to get to the bottom rail when you're playing a safety is you're hitting the ball at a higher pace. So if you get that pack thicker than intended, you're more than likely to nudge your ball out. So there's the reward and there's the penalty that you pay if you get it wrong. Now here's a good chance to get a better safety. Well, Larry's still left that a foot short. A good opportunity there to get that right nailed onto the cushion. And there's the ball that's loose. So now that changes the safety area, and Larry's problem in the first safety exchange we saw earlier in the match. A ball came loose and Larry couldn't cover it. He couldn't get that cue ball in behind the pack. So this is where the work's going to be at this end. Well, we look from here. And Bakermaker trying to get into the corner. And Larry won't take the bait there. Just a thin nudge off the 13 and back up to the other end of the table if he can. Well, surely he's not taking the risk, is he? Well, I know what I'd be doing in this case when I'm trailing by 20. I'd be running and hiding. This is a very risky shot. And I think this comes more about from being a 9-ball player than a snooker player, because I wouldn't have had the guts to go for that. Maybe if I was 50 or 60 behind, I would just say, well, to hell with it, let's have a go. But Larry's went for it. He's got the shot. Now, can he score? That's the more important thing. There's no point in playing a good shot and getting some loose balls if you can't score. So, got to make a contribution at some point in this match. Now, where's his ball coming from? Just a 1. In between the 6 and the 8. We'd give him a choice, and I think that's turned out not too bad. And you might want to try and draw into something here as well. You think he's got a slight angle to do it. Needs a bit of juice on it. Get that cue ball loose. Well, he didn't play it, so he's just going to pick off what's there. So that's more of a defensive shot rather than being too aggressive. Just sort of guarding his back here if he gets out of line. And again, he's left it short by a fair distance. And even if he pots that 7, he's not going to be on anything unless he plays it with enough power to get the cue ball out. Got to get that cue ball back out into the table. And now it needs to slow down because he's going the other way now. So now he's got a shot in the 6 and nothing much else coming from this because he's getting entirely the wrong angle. You don't want to get too ambitious here and try and do crazy things with the cue ball. He's playing a bit of right inside English to check off the rail and come back across, and he's hoping to get on something here. And that, if it misses the pack, might give him something. That's a pretty good shot. And now he's got the angle in the 10. It needs a bit of luck though. Doesn't want to run off those balls into the pocket. Well, Larry again, refusing the option. And now he's going to have to juice this up a bit because it's not a great angle. He needs that inside English again, I think, to check it off that back rail into the pack. It might be just asking a bit too much. How's his luck? Well, that's ended up a fairly good position now. And I think he's got a break ball. That 4 ball at the head of the pack will do very nicely. And let's see if we can get there. I mean, if I was playing this game right now, and where Larry is, I've already made my decision. The 4 ball's a break ball unless I get out of line. So it's just about manoeuvring that cue ball. And if he plays the 5, he's going to have to avoid running into the 4. And he doesn't like that either, so... See, these shots are into blind pockets, and that's the worry when you're playing them, is you're not looking at where that ball is going. And he's still out of line. He's the wrong side of the 2, so he's got the backup ball. This is just threatening to go out of shape here. He's got another good shot to play here to get good on this too. And it's now turning into quite an important little contribution, this one. And if it misses it, that will do very nicely. Now it's all about the little draw shot. Let's look at where he wants to be drawn to. He wants to be drawn to about there, so it needs a wee bit of... Well, it's almost parallel with the donut, so it will do. He's going to be hitting the head of the pack. And now, how's his luck? Oh, that's looking very tight for the 6, but I think it's... Oh, you can get through there. And you might have to squeeze a wee bit of that, though. It's a bit tight. A wee feather of English. That's what he's doing. A wee feather just to squeeze it round. And all he's doing now is he's just trying to get that cue ball into the table rather than playing off rails. He's not comfortable where he is at the moment. Just needs to get good control of the cue ball so he can move it to where he wants to move it. So Larry's visit is on 17. He's just trailing by 3 now. And I think we can safely say he's in the game. Nothing needs to be disturbed here. He just needs to pick those off. He could make a choice on a break ball out of those 2. And he's got choices on this side, although he's nudged the 11 away. But, well, if he takes the 1, he's got plenty of room to get on something here. He's bound to be on a ball. Bound to be on a ball. Can't not be on a ball. The only way he would lock himself up if he finished behind the 3, but he's still got a choice there. He's got backup balls. I'd be taking the 1. So Now he's out of line. He's out of shape. Now, where was he going with the cue ball there? What ball was he playing for? Because I haven't got a clue. And where he's finished. He's actually nowhere near where he actually wanted to be. Or was he trying to get here to play the 14? We'll never know. But either way, he's in no man's land. And this is very tough. This 3 into the middle. Cue balls. He's got no idea where he's going to end up here. The cue ball's running into these balls. But that's a good shot. Now, is it a recovery shot? Well, he's on the 15, and now he's got a chance to just nudge the 2 and 7. So he's threatening just to break down here, but he's hanging on in there. Well, he's left that opportunity. And he's got another chance. See, this is where you take a risk. And is he going to take that risk or just drop behind either of those 2 balls into this middle? Now, he might have took the risk there, but he's now looking at the 1 ball that he had a chance to get on earlier. And he's now going to nudge those 2 balls unless he digs in. Now, just bear in mind, he's had 2 opportunities where he could disturb those balls, but both of them you have to take a risk and getting lucky to get on something. But we'll see if he might pay the price. We'll see if he's made the right choice. And he's made the mistake. So Larry's run ends on 24, but he's got himself in the lead. And the lead is 4 points. So now Bakermaker's left with the problem. But that's exactly what Larry needed. He had to make some sort of score to be competitive in this match. So now it's, for the time being, it's anybody's. Bakermaker picking out the combo. And that little nudge. Now that's maybe finished. Well, it's not a set combo, it's nowhere near that, so wrong angle on the 10. Spinning this cue ball up and down the table. And the further he can get up the table here, the better chance he has of making this. So he's going to have to send that 2 ball into the 7 to make that cutting angle. And so you have to send it. You have to be hitting that side to send that 2 ball that way to make the cut. And he's misjudged it. It was certainly not an easy shot. So, Bakermaker back to within 1. That 7 ball is not a great break ball at all where it's sitting, especially where Larry's having to play this 2 ball from, because he's got the wrong angle, so he's having to play this with probably a lot of inside again. And he can't get to the pack, so the cue ball is going to have to travel all around the table. Or is he playing a bank? What's he doing? Even with a bank, you're not going to do much with the cue ball. Well, it looks as if he's calling the bank. Well, he's looking to play the bank, presumably with a lot of draw. Unless he's just... Well, he's trying to nudge the corner of the pack. Well, he's done well. It looked not a guaranteed certainty he was going to be able to get into that cue ball, or get the cue ball into the pack enough to break in and out. But all you need to do is break 1 ball out and get on it. That's all that matters. And another little nudge. I think, well, the angle he's got there, that'd be trying to, well, he's going all out for it. He's going to have to dig in though, I think, to chip that. He's looking at the 14 now. And that's a little tester as well. You can certainly, I think, get onto the 14 past that 6. And of course he's going to be disturbing balls as well. And he's got another one. He's chipping a ball out. Not easy shots he's got. And he's going to have to let the cue ball run a wee bit here to get probably round this end of the table here to get on something. Unless you're going to try and... Well, I think the angle, to make a comfortable shot, you're bringing the cue ball back down here. A little nudge in the 8 would have helped here. He's had a little feather, and I think he's okay. I think he can see enough of the 13. Now it might be a full-blooded shot to into the back of those bunch of balls. And he's got the backup ball there. Freed another 3 or 4. And now the shoe's in the other foot. It's Larry that's building up the lead. And Bakermaker is now doing the chasing. So a quick reminder to any of you guys that's watching the stream. We had a look at the bracket before this match started. This match started at the top of the hour, about what, 50 odd minutes ago. We've got another match scheduled for tomorrow, 1 PM GMT, which is the match between Semi-Pro and Acero, and that's on the winner's side, and it's scheduled for 1 PM. I would love to stream it, but the only problem I have is that I am working tomorrow, and I could well be working up until 2 PM in the afternoon, in which case I'm going to miss the match. So it takes me about 20 minutes to get home, and I more than likely would miss it. If things go the other way and we get our job finished quicker tomorrow, then I might be home in time, so I don't know. I would love to get be able to see that match tomorrow. But anyway, for those of you guys that are interested, it starts at 1 PM GMT, so that is what the hell's that? Is that 7 AM East Coast or 8 AM? They're 5 hours behind us anyway, I can't count. And then the Pacific Coast is 3 hours further behind. So the reason it's starting at 1 PM as well is because Semi-Pro's in the UK and Acero is in Japan. And I think Tokyo is about at least 7 or 8 hours in front of GMT, so it's about 9 o'clock at night, Acero's time. But it promises to be a very good match. But Larry is still at the table. He's now moved on to 68. He's got a lead of 15. And he's got another break ball. Can he get on it again? This looks a better pace. That's a better shot. That's a pretty good position to move some balls. And the cue ball spun off the pack, down the table, well away from any trouble, and he's got a shot. So from a little bit of a shaky start, Larry's settled in, and he's looking pretty good here in this visit. Well, I think he's ended up dead straight in the 9. Let's have a look. Yeah, that is bone straight. And he's tried to pinch. You see that? See what happens when you get a wee bit greedy. Just try to pinch that angle. You've just got to take your medicine and then run for cover. That's a vital miss. That fact that he was dead straight in the 9, he just tried to pinch that wee bit of an angle, and you know what these pockets are like, you cannot pinch much. As soon as you hit those knuckles in these tables, they ain't going in. And, well, Bakermaker has got a chance to get into that deficit. And that could be a crucial mistake by Larry. We'll remember that at the end of the match. If things don't go according to plan on Larry's side. No. Well, as I said at the beginning of this stream, Frankel was always chasing semi-pro. Semi-pro, I think the biggest run was maybe 20 odd or something, but you know, the early part of the match, semi-pro built up his lead, and he had quite a hefty lead. But there was 3 important mistakes by Frank. Well, there's a mistake there by Bakermaker, now that I've just mentioned it. But the biggest mistake that Frankel made, I had spoken to him a couple of days prior to the match, and he told me he was coming down with a cold, because I've just been recovering from a cold, and he said he wasn't feeling well. So he wasn't feeling too hot when he was playing the match, but he was well behind. I mean, he was 60 odd behind at least, if not maybe slightly more. And then as it got later on into the match, he got himself back into it. He just chipped away and got himself back into it. But the most important point in the match, he had 3 break, and this is what I'll remember from it. He had 3 break balls to keep a run going and to keep chasing down semi-pro, and he missed all 3 of them. And you know, in the end, he just didn't do enough. But he actually had the chance to win the match. He had more than enough chances to win the match with those 3 break balls, and he missed all 3 break balls, left him in the pocket or rattling the jaws, and that's what cost him in the end. But he's still in it. He's still got the second bite at the cherry against Romario, and he certainly can't. He can't take any undue risk with Romario as well. He knows he's going to get his chances with Romario, but likewise, if Frankel gets a bit loose, Romario can still score. So he's a danger player, not to be taken lightly. But meanwhile, Larry's back at the table. And crucially, he's came back to the table with still the scoreboard in his favour, and now he's building up the little lead again, and he's got a good break ball. So the lead is 17, and I would suggest if he can get on this 7 ball and keep scoring, Now that's a shot here that's dangerous. Running into the side of the pack, it's very easy to run off the side of the pack and end up in that corner pocket. It depends on what kind of pace he wants to put in this, and he almost scratched. He went around the corner, and he's got a 15 ball, and I think that's all he's got. There's nothing doing here. I wouldn't even look at this end of the table, Larry. You've got a 13 into the middle, fair enough, but there's nothing there looking across the table. And everything's covering everything here. It's not a good table. And he's going to have to pick his way through these. So Larry now 20 short from moving through to the next round. Now I think, well, we know Larry's from the States. I think Bakermaker's from the States as well. So we've got two Americans. But there's going to be one less after this. In fact, when I think about it, there's still 3 players from the UK in this tournament. And you wouldn't think it would be British players that would be dominating a straight pool tournament in terms of numbers. I'm not talking about quality. I'm talking about actual body count. Well, Larry's ended up in a hole here, I think, has he? Oh, he's in the mire here. Now what can he do with this cue ball to get it safe? Well, if he just froze onto the... If he froze onto the 4 and lost a point, there's no damage done. Well, there is if he leaves the 9 open, but the 9's a tight cut into the middle. I'd be just nudging onto a ball here and losing a point. Well, he's actually hit the rail anyway, so he's left a bit of enticement here for Bakermaker. Well, this is a tight shot, this. You don't want to be playing this again. It's into a blind pocket. But he's picked it out. That was an excellent shot. And Bakermaker, well, he's not showing any signs of nerves with shots like that. Just straight in there, lined it up, and in it goes. And he's trailing by 21. And there's not a great break ball. There's the 5 ball, which is quite a ways from the pack. That 10 ball's in the triangle, so we discount that one. And as long as he hasn't blocked himself off, he's going to get rid of the 11. And then he's going to have to take care of this 15. And he might be taking care of that now because he's on the 5 or the 6, but no, he's more or less made his mind up, I think, here. It could be the 10. Then, well, that's out of line, but he's still got the 5. So he's running out of balls again. And now he needs to get out into the table for this 6. Now, you could try and get tight to the rail and play it. That's what he's doing. He's trying to get tight on the rail to create that angle. And he's not got a comfortable angle. He needs a wee bit more. So he's managed to squeeze it in. How's his luck? I think he's okay. He's got the 7, and he can do a little bit of nudging here as well. Now Larry, he's coming after you. Larry's looking over his shoulder right now. And he's still thinking about that 9 ball. Yeah, I think he's gone a bit straight again on this 4. I think he might have been trying to get lower on the 4 to do a bit of nudging again. So he's taking the other option. And that is looking pretty good. A little draw into that bunch of balls there. And again, just enough to get a couple out. But he's also got that 9. That 9 would actually be a good break ball, but it's a good break ball for those little cluster. Now, he's going to go for it off the 9 at the moment. Now this match is getting very interesting. Well, let's see who's going to blink first. Because Bakermaker's in a run of 19. He's only trailing by 4. One ball would be the break shot. That needs to slow down a wee bit. And I think that's okay. I think he can, if he gets into this enough, he might be able to just nudge the eye. He's nudged 8 towards the pocket. And he's got a nice little angle as well. So here's the crucial shot coming up. Bakermaker is now all square. And that draw shot has ended up on a good line just to nudge the corner of the pack. And a little draw away from it. Well, this is a tight 10 ball on the rail. Probably take the 15 instead. But there's not a lot there for choices. He needs to get this cue ball out. And that'll do. Well, now Bakermaker's got a lead. And he's not hanging about either. He's sighting them and just playing his shots. Not getting bogged down and doing too much thinking. That's the one thing you don't want to do. I mean, some players don't think at all. But the more you think about shots, the more problems you see. So he's just wading in and getting on with the business. What's he done here, though? Oh, I think he's got lucky. I don't think that's what he played for. Yeah, he's okay. Oh, that was a bit of good fortune. Well, now he's dead straight in the 9, pretty much. The 2 goes. He's going to end up taking the 10 or the 8. Don't tell me he's blocked himself out. No, he's okay. So now it's getting to the nitty gritty. Bakermaker on a run of 30. Now, I'm thinking back. It wasn't just Larry's last visit he missed that night. Oh, there's a mistake. Well, Larry's breathed a sigh of relief there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, fair enough. Bakermaker would have had to go into the next rack, but Bakermaker's run ends on 31. And Larry can breathe again, provided he can get a ball in here. And Bakermaker was looking very strong there. You see, of course, Larry's now in the long grass, so he's playing from a distance. And there's nothing easy. Now, is that 2 and 12 ball a combo? No, it's nowhere near it. Well, they both go, but the problem there's the 6 balls in the way. So Larry's got problems to deal with here. And whatever choice he makes, it's not easy. He's still running away. Not anything settled here yet until he deals with that 6 ball. And the other crucial thing is that even at the end of this rack, if he gets there, he's still going to be behind. Bakermaker still leads by 5. And there's only 4 balls on the table. And Larry's in no man's land as far as choice here goes. He's got either or. But again, the cue ball's going to have to move unless he kills it stone dead to hold for one of those 2 balls. Oh, he's managed to get a little nudge. But that hasn't helped him. Well, I think he's got to go for the thin 2. Thin 2 has to be off the rail. Cut the 2, cue ball over here and back out or something. But he's looking at a combo. But if he gets that cue ball into the middle of the table, he's at least got the 3, but that would probably have been a handy break ball. But that 12 ball can still be used as a break ball as well. I think it's right next to the line, yes. Now it needs to slow up. It needs to slow up. And he's okay. Well, Larry is 3 behind. And needs to get in this bottom half of the table here on the left hand side. You can go forward and go around the corner. You can go that way. But he's maybe going to go this way. It looks like it. That looks like what he's lining up. But he has to come up far enough so he can punch that 12 in and run the cue ball towards the pack. If he goes the wrong side too far, he's got nothing. No, he's trying to get into the triangle, I think. Or is he? No. He's the wrong side, so there's not much you can do here. Now, the really brave shot to play is to punch the 2 in with top right-hand English. Is he trying to play that long? I don't think he can get the potting angle there. But that, if the really aggressive shot to play, and this would be a crazy shot, is to punch that 12 in with right-hand English in the cue ball, stun it to the rail, off there, over there, and into the pack. That's the shot you would play when there's no pressure. But you can play it with right-hand English and punch it into the rail and around in. Now, he's tried it, and that's an excellent shot. Caught the corner of the pack, that's all you need to do. But that was a shot. I mean, when you play the game, you instantly see those shots. You needed that wee bit of help. I don't know whether he put an awful lot of English on that at all, whether they just used the angles and the stun. I would always tend to help it a wee bit, but that's good enough. You just chipped the ball out. Oh, he needed a nudge there. He needed a nudge. Well, Larry now is all square and he needs to go hide. He needs to hide. This is where you've got to get tight with the cue ball. Now remember, he's playing for a distance here and he didn't want that, but I think he's got away with it. I don't think he played that. And now I'm getting a wee bit excited. Well, this is going to be another crucial bout of safety here. 91 points all. And maybe if Larry had played a wee bit more help in English, he'd get thicker into the pack and open more balls out. But that, as I say, that's the properly aggressive shot. But he managed to nudge a ball out. So it is anybody's match. Well, Bakermaker trying to get Larry into a conversation, probably trying to get blood from a stone. Larry probably won't even notice the chat, he's too busy concentrating. Now, you don't want to get distracted by chat in the match when you're fully focused on what you're about. And is that a mistake? Well, it was very close to it. Very close. Now, this side of the table here is where you don't want to be, because that's a ball on and it's a break ball. Well, now you don't want to be involved in any chat in the room. Well, now that isn't set, but there's a very risky in off that 10 ball combo with the 7 and the 11. Now, he who dares wins. He who dares wins. I think Larry's looking at that. No, he's not. He's got a bit more common sense than I have, and he's decided he's not interested. Right. Now, if there's anything more annoying, it's me moving this camera around, but I'm doing it for my benefit and hopefully to let you guys see if there's anything set. Well, you see, my imagination starts to run away with myself when I'm looking for shots, and at 91 points all, it would be a highly risky shot to take, but there are guys in this tournament would have went for that, believe it or not. And the problem with that is the guys that would have went for that are not in the tournament any longer after playing it. Very, very risky shot. Yeah, what I was saying is, I hope it doesn't annoy people when I'm moving the camera a lot. I tend to do it more in this straight pool tournament because the pack is so important. And it's the only way I'm going to get a sight or a line of sight on where a ball's going and what the guys are seeing. And hopefully you guys want to see what's happening as well. Because remember, if you start moving your donut while you're watching the stream, you ain't going to get any joy because you're watching the stream. And I've done that plenty of times. So, this safety is now getting to a critical stage because we've got loose balls here. And now if Larry's hiding behind the pack again, he has to get it right. And, oh, I think he's played a good one. He's played a very good shot, has he? Or can he see enough of that? I think he can squeeze it. He can. Well, it looked very good. But it has to be said, Larry's made the mistake. And bakermaker is 8 away. But he's going to have to do some damage here at some point. He's got 3 balls for the taking. And needs some way of getting into this pack. And I don't see anything set in the pack. Is he... What's he doing? Looking at that, it's a bit the wrong side, that 7, so... Not much he could do. And not much you can do with this 14 either. I know what I'd be doing. I'd be running the 14 in and a little skim off the pack. Get the cue ball down to it there. And a little feather off that 9. Oh, he's picked out a combo. No, nobody saw that. I didn't see it. Well, that's the killer. That is a killer shot. I wish I'd been paying attention here. I thought I was paying attention, but I wasn't paying enough attention to what bakermaker picked out there. That was a cracking shot. And he's called the bank, and in goes the bank, and he's 4 away. And I think he's landed in nothing. Well, that's extremely unlucky. And it looks as if, unless he's going for another I don't know whether he could get the cue ball away quick enough to play a cross bank on that 9. It wasn't a combo. Was it a straight? Well, it wasn't an open ball because I didn't spot it. I don't even know what ball he potted. Well, this is Larry's last chance, surely. And this is the pressure shot of the match, this 5 ball. All or nothing. Because I don't think he can do anything other than run into balls here. He's going to open it up for Bakermaker. This is life or death. And it's straight into the pocket. And look at the way these balls are sitting now. And Larry needs 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's still going to need another rack. Well, that's helped the situation. That's left or brought an awkward 14 ball into play. Now, I wonder if he can just... See, that 6 ball is comfortable if the cue ball's here. It's because he's right in the rail. If he drops it in, he's running to here. And he's not sitting good on the 10 or the 1. If he plays the 1, he wants to get on that 15, ideally. And he's missed the 6. And that's the problem. We've been close to the rail. He's trying to do more. And that might be the nail in the coffin. That 14 ball's now in play. But the only ball on is... Oh no, there's the 6 is on. The 6 is on. And a little brush. This just needs to be gentle. He doesn't need to thump this in. Well, a little gentle brush through. And it's round the corner for the 15. Well, it's went either way. But it's going to go to Bakermaker. And what a good match it ended up being. And what ended up being a tight match, and Bakermaker has won the match by 100 points to 93. Now, I'll say it again, you remember those shots, that shot there, the last shot that Larry had on that 6 ball, right on there, where the 6 ball was. The 6 ball was comfortable. If he could get that cue ball just in the table, the fact that he was on the rail meant he was trying to do a lot more with the cue ball. And that's why he missed it. And that's why there's such a narrow margin in winning and losing. But Bakermaker goes through. Well, now we've got some fairly strong straight pool players left in the tournament. Unfortunately for Larry, he's not one of them. And, well, he'll have to try again next time. So Bakermaker is through. We'll have a look at the bracket. And that should have updated. And Bakermaker is now through. And he's waiting for the winner of the Frankel and Romario match. So whoever's going to get through on this side is going to have to do a lot of serious work. Because Bakermaker... I mean, Bakermaker might have not thought he played all that good. And I think there's a lot more in him, to be honest with you. But he's looking fairly strong. So he's going to be a tough opponent. A reminder again, the match tomorrow at 1 PM is between Semi-Pro and Acero. And if I can get home in time, I'll have it on live stream. If I don't, then, well, make sure you at least get in to watch it. So with that, guys, thanks for your company again. And I will hope to see you tomorrow. And if not, hope to see you some other time. So until then, I'll bid you good night and thanks for your company.